Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Cahill and my hair is doing all kinds of crazy right now. Welcome. It is the 20th of March, why the pause? And officially the second day of the World Wide Writeathon. Hence this video is of course going to be a World Wide Writeathon vlog. Now, I was working the entire first day of the write-a-thon, which was yesterday, Saturday, so I missed the first day, unfortunately. So we're just here on day 2, the Sunday, which I have off all day, so I can spend as much time as possible between kids and errands, hopefully participating in the sprints and being productive and not procrastinating, because I should really be thinking about prepping the outline for my witchy project for Camp Nanaimo next month, and this is, I suppose, the time to get it done. I've already been procrastinating today because it is currently 1:45 in the afternoon, and this is the first time today that I've sat down to talk to the camera because my husband's just taking the kids out, so I'm home alone and can do so without getting interrupted. And also I had errands this morning, so this was the first time that I had spare to actually get some stuff done. But I have been participating in the write-a-thon today. There's not a lot of footage of me doing that though. I am a monitor this year, so I'm in charge of monitoring a few of the streams as they go throughout the day, just to make sure everyone stays on track. They are keeping to their timed sprints and that nothing, you know, horrible goes on in the comments. I'm there to sort of help out. And my first one was at 5 o'clock this morning with Shay with the Hobbies, which look, I didn't know it was going to be at 5 o'clock in the morning, okay? I thought it was 6 o'clock in the morning because Shay's stream was 1 a.m. EST, and I'm like, oh, we're 5 hours ahead, so 6 a.m. EST. 6 a.m. is a decent time for me to get up and you know, help monitor this sprint, right? Wrong. Because you guys on the other side of the ocean have had your daylight savings. So we're not 5 hours ahead of you at the moment, we're 4. And I found this out at midnight when I wanted to double check that the sprint was at the time I thought it was, and found out it wasn't. So I go to bed at midnight and I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning for this sprint. And I was late, but I was only late by about 20 minutes though, because when I set my alarm, I accidentally set it for Saturday and not Sunday. So mistakes were made. But it's okay, we got there and I've been awake since. I'm not tired yet. So we participated with Shay during her stream, and I got a few scenes outlined for my witchy project. And then we were on Heather's stream where I was also monitoring that for the next couple of hours. And I got a few more scenes and then some work related and errand related stuff done during that. And then the next stream I spent doing my errands. So now I'm back from my errands. I need to get lunch because I haven't eaten today, which is not the fault of the World Wide Write-a-thon. That was just me being me as usual. And I think it's Kate's fundraising stream starts in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to be doing some work during that while I eat. And then we're just going to continue the day on as we go and see how short this vlog actually ends up being, depending on how much I film and how much I talk. We'll break for 30 seconds maybe to view the footage from 5 o'clock this morning, and then we'll be right back. Most of the work that I have been doing for my witchy project, which does have a name, I just don't know why I keep referring to it as the witchy project. One issue that I'm having with my witchy project, which in the stages that it is at the moment, is not so much of an issue, it's just more annoying me because I know it's not going to turn out as well as I want to, is the fact that there are 6 POVs in this novel, which I don't know why I keep doing it to myself, giving myself a major amount of POVs. But the way that I outline when I do have POVs is odd. I basically do an outline of these are all of the events I want to happen. And I think there's 40 scenes that I have. There's 46 scenes which I have and 6 POVs. And what I do is basically these are the events that happen and these are the scenes, and then I go through and I think, right, so this specific scene has to have this specific witch as the POV because they're important, or they need to learn knowledge and I need to, you know, basic stuff. It's important for their character to have this POV. And then for all of the rest of the POVs, I'm just like, okay, so this POV is here, and then 4 POVs later it's this POV. So let me stick a random POV in between, and then I'm like, okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 scenes until we next see this character. Can't have that. So then I shuffle it all around. So I'm sort of in that part of doing the outline where there's not an equal amount or a close equal amount of scenes, chapters, between all 6 of the POVs, which annoys me. But I need to add some stuff after this 0 draft, so it's not a problem, I tell myself. And also it was very difficult for me to sort of think of how I wanted the story to start. Because the way I had it originally was, oh, this is the only character I can put in these beginning scenes because they had the least amount of POVs. But then I'm denied, do I want to start the story with this particular POV? I did not. So I had to move some stuff around, and then it's trying to get from this point to this point to this point at the beginning of the novel during the sort of setup, because I can't set up all 6 characters and then have the inciting incident. And then how do I want the inciting incident to go down? I think I've managed to sort that out at least. There's 2 scenes in the first chapter, 2 scenes in the second chapter. So the first scene goes into the second scene fine, and then the second scene and the third scene, which is from chapter 1 to chapter 2, they happen in the same place, and the events sort of flow from the one character to the next, which is good. And then I've just got like an outlier scene, which is chapter 3, which is the next day after the inciting incident. But this particular character, which is I suppose their intro chapter because it's their first POV, is like on their own. And like I'm completely skipping over like any immediate reaction to the inciting incident and going straight to this other character and sort of like setting up something else. And I'm like, that's not going to fly in a proper novel. So like I already know there's something I need to include there, which is good that I'm sort of picking up on this. I'll write it down in my notes somewhere. That's what I need to do. It's just so weird. It just happens to be there. But it does. It's going okay. I'm sort of trying to focus a lot on the character side of the outlines, and then very character focused scenes. Obviously the events that happen for the plot, but I'm trying to make it more character based because I want there to be a very I want the readers to be very invested in these characters and how everything is going along. So I do need to make sure that I work on the characters, which is why I've done so much character work, more than I usually do. Like they have personalities and wants and needs, not so much backstories and likes and dislikes, but I know what their wants and needs and their sort of character arcs are already going to be, which I don't usually have. Most of the scenes I've been able to come up with the entirety of the scene based on 2 or 3 words that I've put for that scene's description. So for example, the first scene that I have, my description of the scene is a witch burns. Okay, so what happens in the rest of that, I don't know. Next one, one of them is the witches at the bar. So something happens at a bar. I don't know what happens at the bar, but they're there. So it's me trying to think of what needs to happen in that scene, while including something that's going to focus on character, while include something that's going to move forward to the plot, or to set up a subplot, or this, that, and the other, which is a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's not difficult at the moment and it's flowing okay, which is good. I didn't expect it to be so easy to do this, which means that at some point it's going to get super hard for me to do and I'm not going to enjoy it at all. I'm struggling now with how to finish this scene that I'm currently on, which is my outlier scene. I need to somehow get from where we are now to the next scene, which happens on the same day, I guess. It can happen on the same day at a different time. And I feel like there needs to be some sort of conversation that needs to happen between the POV character Kit and another character, Thea. Or something needs establishing in regards to Thea before this next scene happens. And I can either fit it into this scene I'm currently outlining, or it's going to have to wait until the next draft and I can add in another scene somewhere. These are the things I think about. These are the things that go on in my brain. And this is what comes out when I talk about it, because I don't talk about it to anybody, so it comes out now. So I do apologise about my British rambling once again. But this is my brain works when I'm talking out loud, trying to figure out my writing. So yay for you to get to witness that. I'm going to eat my lunch. I have a cheese string. That's not my whole lunch. I'm just showing you that I have a cheese string. I've become very obsessed with these recently. Seriously, it's a problem. And I'm going to get some work done. So with my witchy project, there are a bunch of scenes or snapshots of scenes which sort of popped into my head and have continued to pop into my head since I first started thinking about writing the novel back in December last year. And one of these scenes involved one of the characters called Blythe opening the door to some strangers who were a little bit rude to her, and she slams the door in their face and walks off. And I always had it in my head, this is in Blythe's POV, the way that I had imagined it in my head when I came up with the scene. That scene, as I've outlined it here, or as I've labelled it POV wise, is not in Blythe's POV. It is in Liselli's POV, which sort of alters how I had it in my head, and I'm not sure how much I like the fact that it is not the same as I have imagined it. Oh, it's not an issue, of course, and I can't change it to Blythe's POV because we've just had Blythe's POV as well, like a chapter ago. It's not an issue, it's just annoying, and I don't like it. Look at me chatting about word counts instead of actually working on my word count. Whoops. It's a very interesting conversation actually, because I work quite well if I'm doing like a writing method where I'm competing against myself. Kind of like the Kate stair-step method, which I altered in one of my previous videos. And this might have just given me a new way to do it, which I'm very excited to try out soon. So thank you, Sarah Karma, for giving me a new way to write. I'm looking forward to trying it out. So doing my work, in which I've procrastinated quite a bit during the stream, whoopsie, I've just started doing Liselli's first scene of her chapter. Not just started, I've just finished writing it all out. And I had the one specific scene set, or this one specific moment in this scene set and done, and I knew what that was. I didn't know how to get to that moment. So it felt rather boring at first, because like nothing is really going on until the end. But then somewhere out of the blue, I sort of like uncovered this bitterness that this specific character seems to have in regards to her life, which wasn't something that I intended, but is there. So I'm very happy to have uncovered that, and I think that adds another layer and dimension to her character and her character arc. And it fits with the character arc of hers I have planned. This is a very fun discovery, and I'm very excited to explore that more. Yay. I need more tea, but I do have a snack. We are on the final sprint of the World Wide Writeathon, which is on Writing Violet's channel. It is a social sprint, which usually isn't my thing. I'm more for the productivity and less for the chat when it comes to these things. But monitor, so here we are, having a fantastic chat about the writing community and its importance to everyone in that community, obviously. I have not actually done as much work as I hoped I would do, but I have to remember that this is the most work that I've done off of my own back in a very long time. So even if it's not as much as I wanted to do, it's still a very, very good job that I have done in regards to the work I need to do. There are a couple of them which I found a little bit difficult to outline because of how they are, and obviously there is a lot of things missing. It doesn't flow nicely, which sucks, but it's the best I can do for now. It all has some interest in it, it all has character in it, and it has a plot element aspect in it. So, progress. Got to do the rest of them now before April in time for drafting because of the way that I do draft. But yeah, let's see how much more we get done during this sprint in the next half an hour or so, and I'll update you at the end. It is now the 23rd of March. The write-a-thon is long over and I'm currently travelling for work and am thus in a hotel room editing this video and realising that I never actually finished the vlog. So, as a side note, I'm absolutely appalled at the size of this tea mug. Look at it. It's terrible. Still tea though, so I'm going to drink it. I ended up doing no work throughout the sprints on Writing Violet's final stream. Because by that point I was tired and I just didn't want to do the work. So I either did Wordle, or I was on TikTok, or I was watching slime videos on YouTube. I can't quite remember which one it was. And I'm not mad that I procrastinated during the final sprint because, again, I did quite a lot of work throughout the day, which I am very, very happy that I actually managed to do. Not to say that I've been doing any work since the write-a-thon, because I haven't really. I was at work all day Monday, and I was at work for most of the day Tuesday. I think maybe I opened up Scrivener and wrote a few lines in one of the next scenes that I needed to do. I can't actually remember if that's a fact or not, despite the fact that it was yesterday. And obviously today I'm travelling for work. And tomorrow I'm still at work and travelling home. And then I'm working on Friday, and then I'm working on Saturday. And then it's Mother's Day here in the UK on Sunday. So I probably won't be doing any work for most of that day either. So it's just not going to be a very work-filled week in regards to writing for the rest of this week, which is also why I'm so happy I did quite a few, made a lot of progress during the World Wide Writeathon. I managed 11 scenes in total, which is good. The first 11 scenes are done and dusted. I think where we left off, we had just finished Break Into Two, which is where Thea, one of the witches, or the witch mama, goes missing. And I think I wrote the scene after it, which is where the witches go to confront their first assumption as to who kidnapped her being Thea. And actually no, yeah, on Tuesday I did write a couple of scenes, because I clearly remember writing a scene that came after that. So I have done extra work. But let's talk about the write-a-thon specifically, because this is a worldwide write-a-thon vlog, Sarah, okay? Camera's doing crazy things as well, but I'm tired, so that's what you get. So 11 scenes done during the write-a-thon. I participated in at least one sprint per stream that I managed to sit in on, which was all of the streams bar one for Sunday, and not including the closing dance ceremony either, because I was in bed by the time that happened. So all in all, a really, really good day's work, which I'm very, very happy about. And despite the fact that some of the scenes that I wrote may feel a little boring to me plot-wise, I sort of have a good feeling that the character side can pick those scenes up. And while there isn't plot-heavy stuff going on in some of those scenes, there are subplots being set up, and there's some foreshadowing going on in some of the scenes for the readers to hopefully pick up on. I'm feeling really, really good about my witchy project in its current stage. I'll feel a lot worse when I physically start writing it. Oh yeah, that's in April, isn't it, for Camp Anamimo? Which means I'm actually going to have to get my head out my butt and actually start outlining the rest of these scenes. But that makes it a deadline, which I don't like. And such is the life of a full-time mother, writer, person thing. So that was me participating in day 2 of the World Wide Writeathon. I have to say that so slowly, otherwise it will not come out properly. World Wide Writeathon. Let me know down in the comments below, did you participate in the World Wide Writeathon this year? What productive things did you manage to achieve while you were hanging with us? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Good thoughts and happy writing.